Thank you for joining us, book club members. Good evening. I am so happy that you are here, ready for the buffet of frogs. And you can see they are all lined up here for you to eat the frogs. So I am super excited to see all of you. I can see you, Professor Joyce Agallo. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Jackie, our book club member. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Faith. Great to see you here. Dora, welcome. Monica, welcome. Janet, welcome. Esther, welcome. Wamaida, good to see you. Ambassador, wow, so lovely. Mary, our speaker this evening, karibu sana. Esther, nice having all of us here. I don't know that there's somebody I've not mentioned their names. Kindly invite other book club members. People seem to be late today, but I'm sure they are joining us. So kindly say hello in the chat. Tell a friend, tag a friend, and tell them, welcome to the buffet of frogs. Welcome to the buffet of frogs. Karibisha watu kwa chat. Tell us where you are joining us from to eat from this buffet, to serve from this buffet. Who is where? Who is where? Tell us where you are joining us from in the chat. Say hello. I want just to see that vibe in the room, in the dining room. Karibuni sana. Welcome. Say hello, say hello. Yes, Ambassador Mumbi, all the way from Machakos. And you are ready to eat from this buffet. This is super amazing. Super amazing. Yes. Who is next? Where are you joining us from? Jackie from Mwamba Village, Kakamega County. Amazing. And then Mary, our speakers again from Vihiga. Wow. Dora from Mombasa. Hey, the diversity here in the country. This is amazing that we can all be from different places and join in a buffet this evening to eat together, to dine together. Welcome. Yes, someone else, greet us, say hello to us. We want to know who is joining in the buffet. Julie from Embu. Nice. This is amazing when we have members of the book club all over the country and we are joining together in one accord to eat together. Indeed, we are sisters. It's only sisters who dine together, people of one accord. And we are thanking God for this moment. We are grateful for 1 month down the line. Those who don't know me, I've not seen anyone yet, but if you are new in this room, in this dining room, my name is Loice Muteti and I'm your host this evening. I'm sorry my camera is not working. I've tried over and over again, but here I am. So welcome ladies. Welcome. I think the others maybe are on the road or somewhere. So let's start this fireside conversation. It's such a cool evening, and we want to dine together. And as I welcome you to the buffet of frogs, I want you to look at my frogs, at my serving this evening. Look at my serving this evening and just choose a frog and tell us, oh my goodness, what frog are you ready to eat? And I can see them in different colors, different shades, you can see how, even the patterns. They are not the same, the size of their eyes, the shapes. They're all different, all different. So start choosing one that this evening you're going to say, frog, give it a name. Hey, don't give it Lois. Give it a name and tell it that this evening I am going to slice you and eat you because it is my time to eat you, Mr. Frog, Miss Frog. It is my time. So I want to see those comments in the chat just to make this conversation. Remember, it's a fireside conversation. We want to make it as lively as possible. So kindly let's engage. I know we are on the transit, but we can engage. Choose a frog. What have you called your frog? I know Ambassador Mumbi, you are very creative. What have you called your frog? Eh? This frog here, which one have you targeted? Describe for us. Tell us its name and tell us and talk to it that you are going to eat it. Yes, I am waiting. I am waiting. I'm waiting for a comment, ladies. Comment, 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 comment. Hmm? Comment, 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 so that we can make this conversation lively. Welcome, Janet Makumi. Welcome, Jennifer Chepchir. Cheer. Welcome, Cynthia Kuto. Seasoned book club members I'm seeing here. I'm seeing some guests. So welcome. My name is Loice Muteti, or just call me Queen Teti. Others call me CL, Coach Loice. That's still beautiful. Yes. Karibu sana. I'm your host this evening, and I have a whole buffet of frogs. And we are asking, which one are you choosing? And ladies are shocked with my frogs. They are not commenting which one they want to choose. I have said identify one frog and call it by its name. What have you called your frog? Kindly engage in the chat as we start. Yes, like book club members who. Yes, procrastination. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you are calling procrastination Mr. Procrastination Frog. Today is your day. I am going to slice you. I'm going to slice you. So, welcome. So, we are saying you must choose a frog this evening. Don't leave this room, this dining room, without choosing a frog. And there are so many frogs. Welcome, Jen. There are so many frogs. So, don't leave this room without choosing a frog. A frog. Kindly choose a frog. And Janet says this frog is called fear. Fear. This frog is called fear. Oh my goodness, fear. We are going to slice you into tiny pieces so that we can swallow you very good. Let's choose a frog. Choose a frog, ladies. Professor Joyce, choose a frog. Yes, choose a frog, Cynthia. You must choose a frog. Those are the rules this evening. Oh, yes, lack of plan for Wamaida. For Julie is distractions. Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. You must choose a frog. Don't leave this room without choosing a frog. Amazing, amazing. I'm confirming all the speakers are in the house. Wanjiko, I can see you. Mary, I can see you. Dr. Sarah, I can see you. And Jackie. Good. We are good now to go. Good. So, what is your frog? You may be wondering. We have been talking about frogs, frogs, frogs. What is you a frog? And we are saying your frog is your biggest, most important task. Biggest, most important task. The one you are most likely to procrastinate on. That is your frog. And we want to eat these frogs this evening. So after identifying your frog, now we continue with the conversation. Your frog is your biggest, most important task. The one you are most likely to procrastinate on. And I want us just to sink in there. I want us just to sink in there. And I want you to reflect on the tasks that you have every day. Every day, the tasks that you are meant to have. Maybe you don't have them in your list, in your to-do list, but they are there. You know you ought to do them. So those ones that most likely you've been procrastinating, you have been fearing. Somebody's talked about fear. Maybe there have been so many distractions that you are not able to do that particular task. That is your frog. That is your frog. Welcome. And we are choosing a frog. And remember these frogs we saw in the first place, they were all in different shapes, different colors. And others are small, others are big. They don't come in one array in this buffet. And you can see they even have colors. So I don't know which your frog, which color is it? And what does that color mean? You see, we are trying to internalize that. So put a color for your frog. Get to know, is it purple? Is it black? Is it green? Is it blue? And what is the meaning of that? So try to associate with your frog and come up with a color for it, because you must choose a frog this evening. And your frog is your biggest, most important task, the one you are most likely to procrastinate on. So ladies, the buffet is open. List all the frogs that you know of. List all the frogs that you know of. List all the frogs that you know of. They are looking at you. They want you to list them so that you have clarity at the end of this fireside chat today. List all the frogs that you know of so that you are able to know. I will not ask you to list them here because I told you to choose a frog, but I want you to identify those many others that you are aware of that come your way. And then now I invite you, because you have already chosen, you have identified. Now I invite you to the table, to the buffet of frogs, and I'm saying it is time to eat that frog. So set your table, your fork and your knife, and be ready now to dine. So welcome, ladies. And this is the dining etiquette. The dining etiquette is one, if you have two frogs, Mumbi has told us, eat the ugliest one first. Eat the ugliest one first. So if you forget everything today, don't forget this. If you have two frogs, then eat the ugliest one first. Eat the ugliest one first. And I want you now to tell me, these are the two frogs here. Which is your ugliest frog? Name it, put it in the chat. The ugliest one now. The assumption is you have already identified those frogs. You have chosen, you know the colors, you know the shapes, you know everything. You know how they appear to you. So which one is your ugliest frog? And we have two people just telling us their ugliest frog. After looking at these two frogs, this is my ugliest, number one ugliest in terms of being ugly. Somebody very fast, someone very fast. We are bringing the book to life. Yes, kindly bring it on. Ah, Wanjiko says the first frog, yes, and Jen also agrees the brown one is the ugliest one. Oh, yes, the first one is the ugliest frog. Now tell us what ugliest frog means to you. Yes, Jen, the brown frog represents what in your life? Faith, the first one. Faith Monkey, tell us here. That brown frog represents what? Ambassador Mumbi, tell us exactly that first frog means what to you? That brown frog. Tell us in the chat. Let's go. I had a brown frog one time. A very big one like this one with ugly eyes. And look at the way it looks. And this frog kept on telling me, Lois, you cannot work out each morning. And I believed it. And the frog was a master in my life. Told me, you cannot. Look at your size. You're as heavy as an elephant. How do you even work out every morning? But today I am naming and shaming it. It is a frog that must be eaten. And I'm so happy that I've sliced that frog. I have sliced it. And today we are learning how to slice those frogs and to eat them. Because I managed to slice that brown frog that kept on making me fearful, anxious, and have a very negative limiting belief that it is only others who could work out and reclaim their health and wellness and not me. What about you? What is your frog? What is your frog? Thank you. Let's move on. And we are saying, ladies, always choose not small frogs. When you want to eat, when you want to dine, always choose large, massive frogs. Large, massive frogs. Large, massive frogs. Frogs that you know they limit your prosperity, they limit your expansion, they limit your growth. So if you choose small frogs, then you will not have that peg advantage. You will not prosper. You will not expand. You will not grow. So only choose large frogs that if you work on them, then everything changes in your life. Number 3, eat fast thing in the morning and eat it and eat it live. Eat a live frog first thing in the morning. And nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day because you have already eaten the ugliest, the largest, the most juicy, very, very big. But now we are adding a rider. Eat it first thing in the morning. Think about that. And that is the dining etiquette this evening. So welcome then to the fireside chat. We have our united speakers, and the first one is Wanjiku Mwangi. Wanjiku is a purchasing officer working with a humanitarian organization based here in Nairobi. She has a vast experience in procurement of both human and veterinary pharmaceuticals, devices, and equipment. She tells me she's a mother of 3 children and that outside work, she loves sightseeing, exploring new adventures, traveling, learning new skills, and reading. Wanjiku is a seasoned book club member. I think since she was introduced to us by Gloria, she has been in this space. Even when she went through difficult times, she was unwell for some time, she still persisted. She knows how to eat frogs. She knows that frogs are eaten first thing in the morning. And she has learned how to do this. So let's welcome Wanjiku Mwangi. Welcome, welcome, Wanjiku. Are you in the house, Wanjiku? Are you here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Beautiful. Bring that face on. Bring it on. And we see you.
You
And
can see it. You can see me.
yes, I can see you,
Okay,
Kabisa.
okay,
So I'm going to stop my share so that because you are our first speaker, I've allowed you now to tell us a strategies that you have learned by being in
okay,
this season of the book club, or all the seasons of the book club you have been here, and you tell us the strategies you have learned on how to eat frogs. The rest of the ladies, we shall join them in a panel, but for you, you are going to tell us some strategies. So I'm going to stop the share so that I can allow you now to share your presentation. Welcome, Wanjiku.
okay. Thank you. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Not yet? Okay. Are you there?
Yes,
Yes.
Coach. Let me know if you can see my screen.
It's coming on board. Yes, now make it larger. Yes, go ahead, Wanjiku.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Wachiko Mwangi. Thank you very much, Coach, for the welcoming note that you've given. I'll be taking you through some of the methods that I've learned overcoming procrastination. I really enjoyed this book of Eat That Frog. The title was quite repulsive because I'm also not a person who likes seeing frogs, but I've had to learn how to look at them because Coach keeps posting them in the group, and it's actually helped me now to overcome that fear of looking at these frogs. So I'll take you through my favorite methods. The first method that I learned from the book was the ABCD method, and I implemented it immediately into my life. This is one of the practical methods given by the writer of the book, Eat That Frog by Tracy, for overcoming procrastination. So this is one of the photos that Coach was sharing. Okay, so what is the ABCD method? And how will it really help you to overcome procrastination? So we learned that this is actually a powerful priority setting technique that you can use every single day to eat frogs of various sizes. As you can see from the photo, there are frogs of all kinds of sizes and shapes. But using the ABCD method, you'll be able to eat them in order of importance and priority. So what do the letters ABCD mean? What do they stand for? Yeah, we will start with the first one. Letter A is stands for an A item. That is something that is very, very important in your life, something that you must do. Yeah, these are the frogs of your life. So there's no way that you can delegate it. There's no way that you can forfeit it. There's no way that you can actually do without it, but you have to face it. So remember to always eat the biggest and the ugliest frog first, just as Coach has said, yeah. So I tried to look for something that resembles that. You can see it here. So you'll find these tasks are mainly something like maybe a report that you have to write at work. Maybe there's that client. If you're in sales, you have to call that client and get to discuss about a deal. So it's that most important thing that you have to do at the beginning of the day. So always number those tasks as your A tasks. Then the B task or the B item is a task that you should do, but it has only mild consequences. These are the tadpoles of your life. Yeah. So it could be maybe calling your friend, or maybe replying to a text message that is not urgent about a coffee date. It's those items that yes, you should do them, but the consequences of not doing them are not that big. They're not like the A task items. But remember to always do and never do a B task when an A task is pending. Always deal with the big frogs before you come to the tadpoles of your life. Next, you have the C item. This is a task that would be nice to do, but for which there are no consequences at all. Whether you do it or not, it doesn't have a consequence. Maybe it would be looking at your personal mail during working hours, or maybe having that lunch with a colleague without anything important to really talk about. So it doesn't have any consequence, but it's nice to have in your life. So it's good to know which are the C items in your amongst your tasks. The D items is a task that you can delegate to someone else. This one doesn't need your personal touch. You can actually delegate someone to either deliver something or to go and procure something for you.
Are you there? Wanjiku.
Think we lost her.
Oh, yeah. I think she's the network, but we'll continue. She will come back. Okay. So Wanjiku, I can see you. You are muted. You are muted.
Coach, can you hear me now?
Yes, welcome back.
All right. So how does the ABCD method work? Just give me a moment.
The ABC method, that's what Wanjiku is presenting, and it is one of the ways to eat those ugly, large frogs. Okay, I can't even see her any longer. And so it is a powerful, very powerful priority setting technique that we can use every day to eat our frogs. And as she comes back, uh, let me see. As she comes back, let me introduce the other speakers. Once Wanjiku, you are back, you'll tell me. The next speaker will be with us in the panel is Jackie, the Blessed. And Jackie is a passionate, am I sharing? Yes. Jackie is a passionate people leader with over 22 years of experience in HR and organizational development, specializing in fostering organizational resilience in Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. She tells me that beyond her professional pursuits, she is committed to community engagement, focusing on empowering women and youth through boards and philanthropy. She is an advocate for climate change action and an aspiring farmer, and she balances her dedication to leadership with being a proud mother of two. Jackie has been with us for seasons and seasons. She has been part of the Bluewaterscoaching ecosystem. From the first time I met her, I think we met online. Jackie has been, you know, that girl that you say she's forever there. She's never out of the game, and this has been years. So, Jackie, we thank you from Unleash the Leader to Abundant Woman to Laws of Growth to Leadership Gold to retreats. Thank you very much for igniting us in different spheres. Are you there, Wanjiku?
Yes, Coach. Sorry.
Okay,
Got
okay.
disconnected.
Now you can share. You can share.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes. No,
All
not.
right.
I can see you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just click on the
Sorry,
share.
network
Okay.
imekuamulia. Sorry.
Ni sawa, Coach.
Yeah.
Has it loaded now?
Not yet, but you can just continue talking. We are listening.
All right. So I was talking about the method of how to use the ABCD method. Has the screen come on, Coach?
Not yet. You continue.
All right. So the first step is to get a piece of paper and a pen or a book. I was saying that I prefer a book because at least a book you're able to keep the history of your tasks and to see how you've been making progress. So once you get the book and the paper, you're able to jot down all the tasks that you have to do the following day. The best time to note it down is the day before. But if you're not in a position, then the best other time is early in the morning before you start any task. So alternatively, you can use your computer. If you're a person who likes typing out, like myself personally, I prefer writing all my tasks in the computer. Or you can also use the phone. So you can state down all your tasks that you have to do for the day inside your mobile phone. And then the next step now, the second step will be about, I've said the first step is get a paper, a pen, a book, or a computer, or a phone. The second step now is writing down all the tasks that you have to undertake. Make sure you don't leave any out. Then the third step now, arrange your tasks in order of priority and place a letter A, B, C, D, or E. And this is dependent on the definition that I've given, taking into consideration that A is a very important task that you have to do. A B task is the tadpole. Those are the tadpoles of your life. The consequences of not doing it is not so bad. But you have to list down the label A, B, C, D against each task before you even begin the first task. Then after you're through with all this, now you start practically working on it. Coach, has the screen come up?
Not yet. Continue.
Oh, God. All right, because it would have been good to have it displayed. Do I just stop sharing, then I share again?
Now it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, make it large.
All right. Okay. So the practical uses of ABCD method are, if it's in the office, list down all your tasks for the day, analyze those tasks, and then put a letter A in front of the most important tasks. If it's housework, you do the same. List down all the tasks that you have to do within your house, and then start with the ones that are most important, the frogs in your life, and put the letter A in front of the most important one. The same applies to shopping. I tried it, and you put the letter A in front. If you know today you're going to buy rice, wheat flour, ugali, maybe washing soap, and toothpaste, which is the most important at that point in time, put the letter A in front of it so that in case the money that you had budgeted for it is not enough, you'll have already bought all the A items before you go on to the B items. Then it also works for the monthly budget. Before the end of the month, prepare your budget for the following month, and then put the letter A in front of whatever is most important. Like now, we are preparing for the children to go back to school in September. So paying school fees is one of the important items. Paying rent is also important, and among other things. Maybe what will not be of importance is maybe going out on a holiday. That may not be important at this point in time, so that might apply to be a C task. Or maybe something like buying a new dress may not be at all important at this point in time. So you might label it as an E. You can eliminate it after all altogether. Etc. etc. I think now you've got an idea. But in case you have more than one A item, what you do is that you label it as A1, A2, A3. The same applies to the B items. Label them as B1, B2, B3. So what are the advantages of using the ABCD method? The first thing is that you will achieve higher levels of accomplishment. You'll find that you're doing more items and accomplishing them to the end than you did before. You get a greater self-esteem. There's a way you feel good when you accomplish something, like when you're doing the morning VH. The moment you finish doing the exercise, at least on my part, I feel quite good, knowing that I've attained my exercise target for the day. And the same applies to taking water and reading the book and journaling. Yeah. So there's a way that you gain greater self-esteem, self-respect. It's another achievement, personal pride because of the work that you've been able to accomplish, and you get more tasks done. William Matthews in the book says that the first law of success is concentration, to bend all energies to one point and to go directly to that point, looking neither to the right nor to the left. This is all about focusing. So you focus on one item. If it's your A1 task for the day, focus all your energies on it. And then there is a way that you'll be shocked, because if you don't do anything else until you accomplish that task, you'll be able to do it in almost even half the time or less, and you'll be able to do it with more clarity, and that will actually now boost you to go on to your other tasks for the day. And another thing, avoid doing a task halfway, because what happens is that the energy that you use to get back to the same level of attention that you were in is quite an effort. The writer has said that it takes about 17 good minutes to be able to gain back your flow, that is high level focus on the task that you are doing, should you break away from it in between. The other method that I really liked that I applied in my life was putting pressure on yourself. So it's another effective method of overcoming procrastination. The writer talked about this method and what does putting pressure on you, how does putting pressure on yourself work? Yeah. This is something that you form a habit of putting pressure on yourself. Don't wait for someone else to come along and do it for you. You yourself, Wakenya husema jitume mwenyewe. So you put the pressure on yourself long before the deadline of whatever task it is that you're doing. Give yourself your own deadlines. So choose the frogs that you're going to handle, that you're going to deal with, and make yourself eat them. There are some tasks which are very hard to do, but the moment you choose that frog and you focus on it in order of importance, you'll be able to attain it. I would give the example of working out. When I started working out, and that was last year, because I joined book club in January last year, it was quite difficult for me. At that time, I had not even read this book. So what I would do, that would be the first thing that I do in the morning. So I usually wake up before 4. So the moment I wake up, by 5, I would be working out, because I knew if I don't do it, there is no way I was going to do it within the course of the day. And I would work out. And initially, attaining those 20 minutes was quite a task. But nowadays, I realize that I even go way beyond. It's no longer a big task for me. So whatever it is that you find difficult to do it, and do it first thing in the morning, whatever it is, and it will soon become a part of you, a habit. Set high standards for your work and behavior. See yourself as a role model, a leader. The moment you do this, you'll be able to put pressure on yourself, because you'll always know there's someone who is looking up to you in terms of the way that you're handling your tasks. There's someone looking up to you in terms of the way you're either doing your VH. There's someone who's looking up to you in terms of the way you organize your work. So always set very high standards for yourself and try to raise the bar each time. Another way is also work as though you had only one day to get the most important jobs done. This is another very effective method that I tried, and it really worked for me. An effective method of putting pressure on yourself. So just imagine that you've received an all expenses paid vacation at a very beautiful beach resort, like the one shown in the photo, but you only have you have to leave on Thursday morning. So today is Tuesday. You only have tomorrow. Then on Thursday morning, you have to go on vacation, or it will be given to somebody else. So the big question is, what would you be determined to finish before you left? Yeah. Whatever it is that you think about, that's the one job that you should start immediately on. I would actually encourage you to try this tomorrow morning. Just imagine that you're going on this vacation. What is that one task that you make sure you leave done tomorrow, Wednesday, the 5th? Now, be starting your day that way. This way, you'll be putting pressure on yourself subconsciously, and it really works. I've tried it out, and it works quite effectively. Then another way is to create imaginary deadlines. Create imaginary deadlines, and this is a very effective way also of putting pressure on yourself. So proactively set deadlines and sub-deadlines on every task and activity. Stick to it and even try and beat the time that you had set to do that deadline. So if you had given yourself the first deadline was within 2 hours, next time reduce it to about 1 hour and a half. And each time you'll find that you're able to actually beat your own deadlines. Yeah. Then create your own forcing system, raise the bar on yourself, and do not let yourself off the hook. Don't start justifying to yourself that, after all, niliweka hii deadline, so it doesn't have any repercussions. No, do it the way you do it in case your boss or maybe a client has put pressure on you that by such and such a date, I want you to have delivered whatever it is that you have agreed on. Don't let yourself off the hook. When you get used to this, it becomes a habit and your way of life, and you'll find that you become quite an effective person. Then for major jobs or projects, write out every step before you begin. So whatever the magnitude the job is, let's say you have maybe a function, maybe you're an event organizer, write down every task that you ought to do that day. Hire the tables, get the seats dressed up, decorate the post, write down all these break down all these tasks into minor doable tasks, and then allocate time to these tasks. How much time are you going to use to dress up the seats? How much time are you going to use to decorate the front part of the event? Allocate time to it, and you'll be amazed at how much pressure you'll be able to put on yourself, and you'll be able to beat your own deadline. Yeah. Then what are the advantages of putting pressure on yourself? So the first one, you see that it increases your self-esteem. You gain more confidence, having seen what you're able to attain, and this boosts your esteem to another level altogether. And you attain high levels of performance. So people start knowing you as a performer, a person who delivers and who executes excellently. And this is all because you're able to put the pressure on yourself before the deadline. And you require minimal to no supervision at all while working. The other advantage is that you'll accomplish more tasks better and faster than ever before. So I encourage each one of you, try and put this pressure on yourself and be amazed at the results. And the best part is that you'll feel terrific about yourself. So the key takeaways of these methods is that always eat the biggest frog first. Yeah. And then always start with the ugliest frog. And with that, ladies, I want to thank you for your time. And I wish you the best as you practice these methods of overcoming procrastination. Thank you.
Wow, let's celebrate our very own Wanjiku. Congratulations and thank you. You've just eaten a frog. You know, when you are called upon to appear before people, you ate that frog. You didn't say, "Oh, I have to wait to be ready. I have to." You just said yes and you showed up. So amazing, amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach.
Let's celebrate Wanjiku for showing up powerfully in this fireside chat. Now, Wanjiku has set the pace for us, bringing to us strategies. Remember, we started with how to the dining etiquette. The dining etiquette. I'm trying to share. Where is the sharing? The dining etiquette in this fireside chat as we are eating these frogs in the buffet. And we started with eat the ugliest, eat the largest, eat it fast in the morning. And Wanjiku has just demonstrated that to us. So I'm very excited. Thank you very much, and well done. So allow me to go back to our buffet. So many ladies have joined us later. So let's show them what is in the offering in our buffet. And we are saying, in our buffet of frogs, we have so many for you to choose this evening. They come in different shapes, colors. It's all yours for the choosing. So just say what frog you are ready to eat this evening. And I have a question for you, ladies. Have you ever walked into a buffet like this, where the menu stretches, you know, from salads? You know, we have been there eating salads, kuna soup, there are grills, there are desserts, there are fruits, there are pastries. You know, it's a lot, more than you can even eat. So the wise lady doesn't go eating and gulping everything at once in this buffet. That's not what Wanjiko has told us. The wise woman like you, a woman of excellence, an ignited lady, pauses, looks at what the offer is, then she chooses only what will nourish her the most. So it's not about everything in the buffet. Ever seen people ambao wamepakua, they just keep on putting on their plates until it overflows. That's not how to dine. Remember, we have a dining etiquette. So every day, ladies, you have a buffet presented to you in your life. You have a buffet of opportunities, a buffet of responsibilities, a buffet of dreams that you have in your life, a buffet of conversations that you need to have, a buffet of decisions you have been postponing all along. Now it is August. Imagine, ladies, this is August, and you are still procrastinating and postponing some decisions. Or maybe your buffet is projects waiting to be completed. Choose your frog. Which one are you ready to eat? Some will be tiny, like that phone call you've been avoiding. You know, that phone call to that person, and you've been avoiding and pushing it, pushing it. Could that be your frog this evening? Or maybe it's not tiny, it's a bit medium. I can see some frogs that are medium there. Could it be that decision you have delayed for months? Like going for a wellness check? It could be a proposal that you're supposed to have submitted and you are still talking and talking to yourself. It could be a book that should have been published by now and you're still having conversations in your mind. Yes, no, no, yes. Until now you are under what we call what? It's called what? Paralysis. Analysis paralysis. Yes. But sometimes it could also be those large, ugly frogs that we have seen Wanjiku present to us. Maybe now it is time to write that book. Am I speaking to someone? Maybe it's time now. You've been saying others are being promoted, but have you ever applied for that promotion? Started that business? Or it could just be something, a very large, ugly frog called healing. You know, healing from a painful experience. Getting that therapy for yourself. Or just simply, enough is enough. Now it's my time to choose myself. I'm going to pay for myself that course. I'm going for that holiday. I'm going to travel to that country. Could that be in this buffet? And could that be a frog that you are going to choose this evening? Because we have seen the frogs wear different colors. It could be a color of fear. You remember what we said? They have different colors, but you must choose one. It could come in the color of perfectionism, that your work is to wait and wait until it is perfect. Others, they named the frog procrastination because they come disguised as procrastination, but it's a frog, a large, ugly one. Somebody talked about distractions, Julie, yes, if I remember. To others, that frog, that color blue, could be people pleasing, that all your life you're working to please others, to feel validated, that you can't do anything until somebody tells you it's okay. To others, that frog comes disguised as self-doubt. You want to do, oh, but I can't. You doubt yourself. And to others, especially ladies who have been in the book club for so long, you have comfort. You have arrived until you realize somebody moved your cheese. That's now when you wake up. You must choose a frog. So ladies, welcome to the fireside chat. And this evening, we have amazing, amazing ladies. We've just heard from Wanjiku. Wanjiku has been with us, and as I said, since she joined us, it has been progress after progress. I have introduced to you Jackie, and she'll be my first speaker this evening as we move on, because we have journeyed with Jackie. As I said, we didn't know each other. God made our paths cross, and here she is. She has a story, and she will tell us how she has put the pressure on herself. But let me introduce the others so that we flow. Then we have Mary Kai. This lady, I didn't know her. We just also met online, and she was introduced to come to the book club, and she's here. And Mary is an educationist for the better part of her life. She has been a principal at high school. Now she's a retired lady. She is in business now, and she is a farmer. Those in the book club, you have been seeing her telling us her stories of how she's farming. She is a passionate advocate for women empowerment and financial independence. And right now, she tells me she's an aspiring First Lady of Vihiga County. And she inspires women to embrace growth, resilience, and stability. She integrates vision with action, hoping to be the voice of transformation in Vihiga. Yay! Her journey from teacher to leader, an amazing journey, reflects a commitment for growth and resilience, inspiring women to embrace independence and confidence. So, guided by her mother's mentorship, Mary believes in the power of women supporting women, and that's why she's supporting us this evening, building networks that thrive on independence and shared vision. Welcome, Mary Kai Indimuli. Karibu sana to the fireside chat. Last but not least is this amazing, amazing lady called Dr. Sarah Waitiki. You know, it's amazing how God makes our paths across. And this lady was introduced to me by one of the book club members, Elizabeth Mulai. And when you talk about igniters, this lady is an igniter. She has brought so many ladies in the book club from our place of work. Some of them are here this evening. And we celebrate you, Dr. Sarah. Another educator, I think I forgot to put your intro there. An educator and lifelong learner, Dr. Sarah Waitiki, who has spent 25 years working in higher education, and she's currently in aviation training. She's passionate about mentoring and empowering young people. And recently, she tells me she was honored to be designated an International Civil Aviation Organization Global Ambassador. Yay! We celebrate you. We celebrate you. And this is a role, she says, that reflects her commitment to developing future talent in aviation. She has been a member of the book club since season 9. Wow, she has doubled. And it has been an important part of her personal development and growth. And she strives to be a better version of herself every day. One book, one conversation, one day at a time. And she believes that life is about progress, not perfection. Welcome, Dr. Sarah Waitiki. I think I have all the ladies there. So as I welcome you ladies now, let's start with Jackie. Jackie, thank you for coming on board. I need to pin you so that you don't disappear. I need to see you. Yes, you are there. So
I'm not
Jackie,
going anywhere.
yes. Now you're on the screen, we can see you. Now, Jackie, you start by telling us what do you consider your ugliest and large frog?
Thank you, Coach. I'd actually say procrastination, but under procrastination is something that has really eaten into my life, and that is a people pleaser. And maybe to just break it down, many times I've failed to pay myself first because I think about others. So, when I was reading the book and even as Wanjiku was presenting, it just occurred to me that I'd actually put myself, I think, under D or I don't know, E. Yeah, but for me, the biggest frog that I've had to fry over and over again, and I'm getting better at it, is really choosing myself, being my number one, paying myself first before I do anything else. And I would just say, I think going through the book again, because this was the second time I was reading the book, I had to put in place structures to just make sure that I am putting myself first. Procrastination is something that I've learned over time, and I'm getting better at it in terms of just realizing that it actually takes away your resources. It's very expensive, let me put it that way. And you find that what you needed to do today, if you don't do it tomorrow, then you have to, use more energy to get yourself into action. And yet, I've realized that, you get the grace to do things at a particular time. So if I have the grace to do, and I'll give an example. When I started farming, at that point, I had a very strong desire to go into poultry. And the first 6 months, I actually procrastinated. But I gave myself that sense of urgency, like I'm not doing it for anybody. I want to do it for myself so that I can also enjoy some kienyeji chicken from the farm. So basically, it's really, in as much as you procrastinate, it actually eats into you. It eats into your potential. And that is something that I'm continuously working towards, and just making sure that as I see that frog, I fry and eat. As I see the frog on procrastination, whichever form it comes, it could be a blue that comes and it's like, I'm not prioritizing myself, I fry and eat. It could be a brown with very big eyes that, I can't say no just because maybe it's my leader and I'm like, okay, I don't want to disappoint them. I've learned to fry it, justify why I'm doing it, give it the rationale, and say no as a complete sentence. Thank you, Coach. I think I'll stop there.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jackie. Let's now go to Dr. Sarah. Dr. Sarah, you have been an educator for long. You've been in the leadership for so long. Are you there, Dr. Sarah? I want to see you. Uh-huh.
Yes, Coach, I am trying to bring myself on. I don't know if you can see me.
Yes, I want to pin you to, okay. Great, great. Yes, I can see you. Yes, I'm saying you've been a leader. You are now leading at the aviation space. You've just told us about this accolade that you received. Has it always been this way that you've just been leading? Are there frogs that you've had to slice and cut them into tiny pieces? Which frogs have these been in your life, in your career?
Thank you, Coach. Uh, yeah, it's an interesting conversation that we are having this evening. And when you ask me to speak, I always say, Coach, I have not finished reading the book. But this time I make sure I finished reading the book before I could come to speak in today's event. Now, for me, Coach, I see I have 3 large frogs, if I can say it that way. You've told us that, and what Brian Tracy says is that you eat the ugliest frog first. I have 3 frogs, and I'll talk about the first one. Then maybe if there's a chance, I'll talk about the other 2. And one is the one on the health and fitness area, where you always tell us to make sure that, we have our protocols in the book club. We wake up early, we do ABCD. Now, for me, this is where I think my biggest and ugliest frog is. Because as you're saying, the frog is whatever important task we keep postponing, because it is difficult, it's uncomfortable, we are uncertain about it. And so we're being told by Brian Tracy, just identify that big frog and eat it very first thing in the morning, so that then you make meaningful progress towards your goals every day. So for me, the battle of the blanket, we've talked about this a lot of times, Coach, the battle of the blanket. I think this for me remains one of the ugliest frogs, and I know it's not just me. The struggle between staying in bed, and especially now that it is so cold, and getting up to begin the day's most important work. This is a fight that I have every morning, the fight of a warm bed. And I know most of us, when the alarm rings, the question we ask ourselves, we usually have 2 choices. Do you hit the snooze button and get up, or do you continue enjoying the warmth of the blanket? So this remains for me a frog that I try to chew every morning. And I can tell you, even being in the book club this long has not really made it. That's why I talked about progress, not perfection. That every day I make sure if I do it, I feel very good. Because like Brian Tracy says, these small daily victories are the ones that build self-discipline. And this is one of his key themes in the book, and they make it easier to tackle other bigger challenges. So if you get out of bed promptly, and I try that a lot, then that's a small act of discipline for me. And it makes it easier for me to tackle other challenges in the day and eat other bigger frogs, along the way. So I look at this as something that I have fought with, but continue to do. As you say, is you chew this frog one piece, every day, one small bit at a time. And what Brian Tracy is saying is that actually success comes from simply consistently doing the most important task, even when we don't feel like doing it. This is what we call self-discipline, you know? So for us, and for most people, for me, for example, the first frog isn't really the report in the office or that assignment in the office. It's actually throwing off that blanket and getting out of bed. When I win that battle of the blanket, then it is easier for me to win all the other battles that follow. And of course, then it means that I'm able to eat other frogs during the day. So if I can eat that one frog, then I can eat any other frog during the day. Coach, that's one of the ones that I would mention right now, but maybe just to mention on one other frog that I think is very, very important for me to talk about today is the fear of taking financial risks. I know we've spoken about this throughout season 9. We talked all the way to where we are right now, Coach, about investment. But postponing the investment journey for me has been the greatest one very, very ugly frog, one financial frog that I have been trying to chew, because procrastinating taking that big step in investment is a major, major frog for me. And of course, when we postpone investing, when you procrastinate, then we are losing. Remember, we talked about the compounding effect when we were reading a book at an earlier season. Because things change, we lose time, and I've lost a lot of time. I know that. So, so for me, I think that I have always that fear of what investment do I make? Where do I put my money? Am I going to lose it? Is it in money market fund? Is it bonds? Is it, and every day you're thinking, oh, maybe I'm waiting until I understand these financial things better. So for me, this is a frog that I need to eat and chew and completely get it out of the way. Because I think the biggest mistake in investing is not just choosing the wrong investment, it is actually waiting too long to make that first investment. And that's what I've realized. So the frog is deciding when to begin that investment journey. So I look at that as another frog that I really need to chew and get it out of the way. I've started slowly making some progress. Coach, I have made some investment decisions, luckily, this year and the last 2 years or so. So somehow I am getting there, but I don't think I'm there yet. I have gotten someone to give me some financial advice on where to put a little money, because sometimes you wait until you get a lot of money, but I realize that it is that little money that you have. It is 5,000, 1,000, 2,000. You have to wait until you have 100,000 to make an investment. And I think that's the biggest mistake that I've been making. And by now I can say at least I've understood a lot of financial issues. I've understood what it means really to put your money somewhere. So I would for now probably say that some of the ugliest frogs I have had to eat in my personal life are those two. Of course, when it comes to the world of work, there are others, and I'll mention one maybe in the next round if I have another round of questions, Coach. But for now, I'll stop it at that with those two big ugly frogs that I have been eating to improve myself every day. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much. Let's celebrate Dr. Sarah Waitiki for being vulnerable and very authentic in our conversations this evening. Thank you. We celebrate you. Asante sana for sharing. Wow, we move on. Ladies are eating this evening. They are slicing them frogs. Mary Kahi, are you in the house? Mwalimu uko. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm trying to locate you.
There I
I'm
am.
trying to locate you. Umeka video?
What? Yeah.
Okay, now I don't know where my people have to go looking for you. Okay. Watu ni wengi. Thank you for celebrating one another. Hey, what name are you using, Mary?
Indimoli.
Oh, you're using Indimuli.
Yes. Although Kai is still my husband.
I've seen you. I've seen you. I was wondering where you are. Nimekuona. Sorry, put on the video. Now I've closed it. Eka video, good. Thank you, teacher. Thank you, madam. Thank you, our incoming First Lady, Vihiga County. And thank you for taking us through a journey every evening in your VH statement, and you tell us about your farming, you tell us about your business. And I know one of the business that you have is to help women eat the wellness frog. Yeah?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I know that. And that is also very passionate for me because when I started this book club and I was thinking about holistic leadership, and I thought, I can't lead when my health is down. I can't lead. So I have to be strong. Just the other day, I had a very bad cough and I was feeling so sick and I was wondering, do I postpone this meeting? Do I do what? Then I thought, what? This is a frog once again. I said, I will have the meeting whether I'm croaking or not. And here I am. So for many years, I'd ignored my health, as I said, as I started. And one of them was I was not able even to work out. I never believed I could. I mean, working out was for other people. So that was a frog I had to eat. And I had to eat it very fast. And that's how we came up with the 5 a.m. club to eat these frogs early in the morning. So now, Mary, what
Mm-hmm.
health frog? I know now you're in the business of wellness, but before this, what health frog did you keep on postponing? What was the wake up call? For me, the wake up call is when I developed a brain tumor. And that was something that I used to read in newspapers and watch on TVs. I never knew it could happen to me. So to me, it was a game changer. And that made me now to start thinking differently. It was a wake up call. I don't know what was a wake up call for you even to be in this business of helping other ladies, overcome these frogs of health, wellness, And where are you now? What is your story? Karibu.
Asante. Thank you, Coach. Hello, ladies. I'm happy to be here to share with you. I think this one started all the way when I was still on duty before I retired. Sometimes I could just feel like sickly, only to discover that I wasn't exercising and also supplementing. So the minute I started those ones, I just became healthy to date. I'm retired, but I really feel great. See? So now introduced in my program, though when going on duty, you wake up so early and maybe in the morning you may not have time to exercise, but every evening I could exercise. And then I met a colleague who just, I think we were in a heads conference in Mombasa. And then she suggested that we go to the stand for BF Suma. And there they had the machine for checking the situation of your body, every part of your body. I discovered I had a lot of cholesterol and many issues. So when they prescribed the supplements, I really was helped. And then I took the challenge of actually learning how to do that. And it's one of the things I now do as my part-time. I even bought the machine. I had somebody to train me. And people come here at home. Because I was able to spread the word. I had some meetings in Bale, which is our town. And people could come for lessons. I did that together with, in conjunction with some friends of mine. So people come and I'm able to give them some health checkup. So the machine is able to diagnose what the issues they have, and I prescribe for them the supplements. And they really come back very grateful. And then the old mamas in the village, there's some little supplement, something so simple called Cool Roll. Is an ointment which can do many things. Those with arthritis, you know the issues of old women with arthritis. Some can hardly walk. Some can hardly sleep well because of the pain. And somehow that thing has just spread in the village. They just come, I want Cool Roll, or I want that blue thing usually give when they sit with somebody. Mhm. And it has been really helpful to them. And also it's very affordable for them because it's just around 500 shillings, which they can easily afford. And it really helps in many other areas because even issues of very serious flu, you use the same supplement. Issues of bad cuts from maybe a knife or things like that, you can apply it and the wound just heals. So those are some of the things I'm able to do in the village to help the mamas, old mamas, to look into their health. And those who are able to see me, I also tell them, you don't just sit at home. Maybe you have a maid at home, you're grandchild or child has employed a maid for you. So you're sitting there the whole day being brought tea to take at your sitting place. Just engage in simple activities. Like having your kitchen garden out there and peana exercise to the body. You see? So I'm able to advise them there and there about keeping healthy and also keeping young, because when you are active, you also remain young. Anything else, Coach?
Thank you thank you very much, Mary, for that. Thank you for sharing with us how to eat the wellness, this frog that we need. It's a very important task for us every day as 5 a.m. club members. And thank you so much for showing us the etiquette that we need to supplement. And that is, you have seen in our victory, our ladies, that's a frog I'm also eating because I keep on forgetting. But remember, we read about superfoods, and we are in the book club. We implement what we read, and I introduced superfoods in our dieting because it's about our wellness. And every day you are sharing about what superfood have you taken. Could it be the seeds? Could it be a fruit? Could it be a vegetable? Could it be a mineral, a supplement that you have to engage in to bring that wellness within you? So thank you so much, Mary, for that. Thank you for bringing in that even as a retired educator, you are not tired, but you are retired. You have new tires, and you are also able. I remember there's a time you had involved your whole family, and you are exercising together with them. I mean, that's a challenge to the young ladies in this house today. That if Mary can do it, why can't I? Look at how she's glowing as in her retirement. So these things are real. Thank you so much, Mary. Let's go back to you, Jackie. And Jackie, I'm looking at you. Bring your face on. Yes. Ah, good. And I'm thinking about you now, wearing several hats. You're an HR director, you are a farmer, and as a farmer, apart from impacting lives, you are also becoming a business lady. You know, you have some business acumen in it, and this is amazing. So how have you done this? How have you done this over the years? I know it has, you have eaten so many frogs in coming with that. And basing on the book, what kind of strategies have you used to eat all these frogs that have been there along your way?
Okay, thank you, Coach. And it's really encouraging to see how we are eating the frogs in many ways. For me, I would say actually that for the longest time, what I've done is to set the table. Let me start from there. I realized that being in a job that is very hectic, for that matter, and also wanting to grow as a person, I've had to just set the table, create clarities in terms of what do I need to do, what does that entail, what are the benefits. And with that as well is in terms of just prioritizing and looking at what would be my biggest frog that I'll need to start off so that I can actually, now deal with the tadpoles and that. So I would say as an HR director, you find that many times your work actually starts when there's a leadership crisis. So when there's a leadership crisis such as that, you will find that I need to, it's not just about the policies and that. One thing that I realize as you grow in leadership, your expertise is no longer really an issue. It's how you show up. How you show up in terms of, the advice that you give, how you react to situations, that is very critical. So for me, what I've done is to ensure that over time, I'm always doing something that I'm ahead, one step ahead of what I'm supposed to do. And that means that continuous development. And sometimes it's not really going into class. It's about, just reading journals around leadership, around human resources, around emotional intelligence and all that. In terms of farming, I also realized that I needed somewhere to vent out. So I needed somewhere to vent out after being in the office for a whole week. After being on the screen for the whole week, I needed something that I have to do. And that's how now I prioritized. That yes, I'm prioritizing my job. That is like my first priority. But I also need to have other things that would actually help me. So for me, giving myself pressure, actually, when I look at the book, has been something that has kept me on my toes, that I need to do this by this time. I need to have done this by this time. And because also I work in the NGO sector, and many of us, if you work in the NGO sector, you have to just develop a thick skin. And that means that, you could, a donor could pull out today and you don't have a job tomorrow. So one of the pressures that I've given myself is to get a second income. And other than just having the farm, I've continuously pressurized myself, of course, prioritizing and looking at what are some of the things that I could do now and what I could hold on maybe for next year. But whatever I'm doing today is something that will help me actually get into some, second income and all that. I'm sorry, my son is crying out there. That's why maybe I'm not so focused, but yeah, he will cool down. Yeah. So what I do is, if I start poultry, my question would be like, if I started with 5, but what is the end game? Like, is it just for me? Is it for business? So that kind of pressure makes me look at things differently. And actually that pressure also makes sure that now I am able to prioritize. So one of the things that I have learned over time and which was emphasized in the book is actually planning. So really planning in terms of what is my, I would say, creative procrastination. So if I need to do 3 things, what is my priority for now? How do I plan it? How do I create that clarity? How do I ensure that I have the resources? I know how long it's going to take, what tasks I'll need to engage in and all that. I'm one person, I will ask a quote like 3 months even before I get the money. And for me, that is just having the knowledge that this is what I need to do, these are what it will entail and all that. One thing that I've learned throughout the book club is knowledge is just a rumor. until it stays in your bones. So whatever knowledge you will find, whatever capacity that I've built, if I don't put it into action, it just remains as a rumor. And I've used that to actually put pressure on myself in terms of just ensuring that whatever, I may not get all the 21, the 21 nuggets from Brian Tracy, but if I can pick 3, and those 3 actually propel me to the next level, then that I would have I've actually succeeded. So in a nutshell, coach and ladies in the room, in terms of prioritizing, having a very hectic job, needing to start a farm and really running a business, clarity is very critical, really setting the table. This evening we are setting the table, and if you don't set it right, you'll find that you'll be going to the kitchen to bring the knife, and then you remember, oh, I didn't get the spoon, I don't know, I didn't get the serviette. So really setting the table by having clarity is very critical, but also really that proactive and creative procrastination, looking at what is my priority for now, and what is the ripple effect of what I'm doing. So I'm not just doing one thing, but that one thing would lead into getting a second income. That one thing will lead me into being a better person in terms of my health. That one thing would actually lead me to be more active and more proactive in terms of how I plan. Yeah, so I'll stop there, coach. But I could share more if there's another opportunity. Thank you. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Let's celebrate Jackie there with a very strong quote for us to remember. Asante sana. Jackie, I remember the last time we came there, you allowed us to come to your farm for the money blueprint. And as we came there, we all left challenged. The ladies who came with me there, we were all challenged at the because it was a money blueprint retreat, and we were looking at the multiple streams of income. You really know how to eat this frog, yeah, in finance and investments. We were looking at all these multiple streams of income and challenging ourselves. Really, Coach Loice, how many streams of income do you have? Yeah, and that's you've really showed us how to eat that frog. Thank you so much for sharing. Good. Very many lessons, ladies, as we are here with this buffet, setting the table, knowing with clarity what exactly you want. And that's where we started. Choose your frog, name it, understand it. Go deep and get to know the patterns of that frog so that you're able to identify it even as you look at it. Planning. Things don't just happen. I think it's Wanjiku told us, think on paper. Put down those things on paper with a pen, with a journal. And those are some of the strategies we use in the I'm Leading Book Club to eat frogs every day. Because frogs come to us every day, and every day we interact with frogs. So how are you eating your frog? There is the dining etiquette. Put the pressure on yourself. And Wanjiku shared with us how to do that. Wow, amazing. The power of focus. Let's get back to you, Dr. Sarah Waititi. You've shared with us the frogs you've managed to eat, and you said there's one more that you're going to share with us, and maybe also add another, because today we want to live having chosen a frog and learning the strategies on how to eat that frog. Kindly come back to us.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Before I talk about the other frog that I was talking about, let me also pick on the 3 critical ways that I've picked from Brian Tracy's book on avoiding procrastination. There were 3 chapters that were very powerful for me, as much as all of them were very, very powerful. And I think one you have just talked about, Wanjiku has talked about, and Jackie as well. The chapter 14 on putting pressure on oneself. I think this is a very, very powerful tool that Brian Tracy has shared, because basically it talks about the main takeaway for me from that chapter is talking about developing internal motivation for doing the things that we do, instead of waiting for deadlines. Because when we wait for deadlines, then we work using other people's, standards. But when you have your own internal standard for doing things, that is a very powerful way of avoiding procrastination because you know that it is good for you to do. So this for me has, stood out very, very, very well. And it also kind of goes with what I was talking about earlier about self-discipline, to beat those external pressures. It is myself, what I have decided to do, not waiting until someone tells me I need that report tomorrow. Why can't I do it earlier? Why can't I motivate myself to have it earlier, ready earlier, so that every day and everything I do every day is important. I put pressure on myself so that I have to do this, not because I'm being told to do it, but because I must do it. And taking ownership of my performance so that I'm not waiting for someone else to tell me, yes, when you do this, this is what is going to happen. So for me, it's really about putting pressure on myself. So then I'm able to take ownership of myself. And that way I avoid procrastinating things, not saying, oh, I don't need it today because my boss will not ask for it until tomorrow. So for me, that is a very powerful chapter. The second chapter is chapter 16. I think chapter 16 was talking about motivating ourselves into action, very closely related to chapter 14. How do we motivate ourselves into action? Being optimistic. That chapter talks about optimism and attitude, which drives our productivity. That it's about being an optimist, you know. So for me, that also stands out very much. I think I switched off my video by mistake. I don't know if you can see me. Yes, for me, that stands out very much in terms of focusing on solutions and not on problems. How do we work? And that is for me very important in my place of work. And I believe for many of us who are in government positions and also in positions of leadership, how do you ensure that you are motivated from within yourself and then practicing positive self-talk, talking to yourself positively every day. It might be tough. You have things to do. How do you motivate yourself every morning? And the third chapter, I think, which also stood out very much for me, is the one on technology. It talks about getting out of the technological time sinks. For me, coach, this was very, very powerful. How do we get out of the technological sinks? How much time do we lose every day on technology? And one of the important things actually for me was email. Because how much time I spent checking my emails, I realized, as Brian Tracy says, really is just a technological sink. And then the phone, you have an email notification, a message notification, so your phone keeps beeping. So I remember when I was reading that chapter, actually I was listening to that chapter in the car. As soon as I go to the office, I put off all my notifications because every time there's a notification, I'll rush for the phone and check what was that. I'll look at your smartwatch for those who have synchronized the watch and the phone. That again for me was very powerful from Brian Tracy, that technology is useful, but it easily becomes a distraction and has become a distraction for very many of us. Because the minute, like I think Wanjiku was talking about it also, that the minute you move into checking on your email, then at that moment, you completely switch. Your mind cannot handle anything else. So you will go to your email, by the time you come back to your other task, you've already forgotten where you are. So you start afresh. So a task that would have taken maybe 1 hour ends up taking like 5 hours because you keep moving back and forth and your brain keeps shifting. And that, again, for me is a major takeaway from this book in terms of email distractions, sound distractions, social media distractions, because these, again, are our WhatsApp, our social media. It's very, very destructive. So for me, a big, big takeaway from this book is that I must control technology and not allow it to control me. I don't have to answer all emails at the same. In fact, it says that you check your emails only twice in a day. I tried it, coach. It's not very easy, because every time you're thinking, oh, maybe someone has sent something important on email, but it says check your email only twice a day, at 11 and at 3 p.m. It's very difficult, but it's something I'm trying actually to practice because I realize I spend far too much time, responding to emails, and then the tasks you're supposed to do that have the greatest impact then are left undone. So coming out to the third frog that I was talking about, coach, that frog for me is the frog let me just go back to my slides. I have my slides, but I'm not sharing. Professional development, that area of professional development is one that I also thought I would share with the team, because most of us in our jobs have almost become complacent that, we have worked in these offices for so long, so we have our jobs. So we don't care about professional development. We're not adding skills onto what we already have. So as I was reading this book by Brian Tracy, I asked myself, how am I doing in the professional world? And I think, Coach, I mentioned to you that I was honored to recently be designated an ambassador for the International Civil Aviation Organization. But when I looked at my profiles within LinkedIn, Facebook, I realized that I wasn't doing very well there. So I said, this is a frog that I think I need to eat. I'm not updating my professional profiles. I'm not updating my LinkedIn page. I'm not updating, who am I? What is my brand? That question really is a frog I have decided I'm eating. As much as, being a director or being a supervisor, being a manager, we think we have actually made it to the top of our professional fields. You realize that out there in the digital space, which is the most powerful space today to market ourselves, we are not selling ourselves very well. We actually demarket ourselves. So what I did, Coach, and just to share with the ladies, I decided to actually focus and eat this big frog on my professional growth. So I went to my social media pages. I got a nice girl who is, I think, listening to me today in this forum. I invited her to listen to me talking about eating this frog. And I asked her, you know what? Can you manage my social media for me? Can you manage my social media pages? Can you go into my Facebook and see what I'm not doing right? And we were laughing because when she showed me some of the things I was doing on Facebook, she said, I was laughing and said, look, I have never even focused on my Facebook page. So I unfollowed so many people. I said, this one, I don't think I should be following. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be visiting these pages. And then I sat on my LinkedIn page and I actually spent 3 hours without getting up of my seat to update my LinkedIn profile. Because I realized that that's how we market ourselves. And yet, when we get to positions, where we feel like now we are leaders, we think that nobody needs to see what we are doing. And for me, that was a frog I had actually ignored. I wasn't completely, I didn't even have an Instagram page that was useful. I had like 4 accounts there. So one of the things that I did is I deleted all those Instagram accounts because they were not speaking about the person I wanted them to say about me. Who was the world saying I am? So I looked at them and I went deleting one at a time because they were not representing the image that I thought I would want, them to represent about me. So this technological issue for me that Brian Tracy talks about is an area I am working on. It's a frog I've decided to chew, to keep updating my profile, to keep ensuring that my brand remains what I want it to be. So I'm not given a brand by other people, but what is it that I'm talking about me? What do I want the world to know about myself? So I have someone who is helping me work on that social media presence. And I think it's something very important, which we can borrow from me, other ladies, and especially the young ones that are listening to us here. Because I think the physical or your social media presence today is one that can market you a lot. Probably to go back to what you said earlier, Coach, about the ambassador role that I got with ICAO. The empowerment of women for me remains a very important role, young girls and women. And I can see some of my mentees are in this, they're in this forum today. Because what I do at my place of work today as a leader, as a woman leader for that matter, I realized that unless I hold another woman's hand, unless I motivate another woman to become a better person, then I will have failed in my role. Because I must role model, I must be there as a role model first and foremost, but also help other women get to where I am. How do I hold their hand? And I think I've had Mary talk about that as well, what she's doing with the women back at home. So my role, and I want to speak also to the ladies here, is to invite you, your sisters, your nieces, to come into the aviation space because women are very underrepresented in that space. So I'll be reaching out to you, Coach, and to other ladies in this forum to see how we can work together so that we also invite people to understand what is aviation all about. But above all, how can we support each other as women? How do I ensure that I'm not the only woman who is recognized in my space? I make sure that other women are moving with me in the same direction. Other women are moving with me towards, being seen on the global spaces that we are in. It doesn't have to be aviation. It can be HR. It can be procurement. It can be finance, whatever other area. What are we doing as women to hold each other's hand and to grow together? So as we develop our professional spaces, I think the big challenge that Brian Tracy throws at us is asking is, what technology are we allowing to consume us, to consume the most unnecessary time? What technology is stealing our time from growing and becoming better persons? Instead of going into TikTok and talking about what you do to grow other people, we go into it and we keep laughing up to the middle of the night. So I think this is a big challenge, that technology is a time sinking tool. It's something that is sinking our time. And so I'm running away from it, but instead of having it steal my time, I'm using it to grow and become a better professional in my area and also in my personal development, Coach. I'll leave it here for now.
Wow. Thank you very much. You're quite hilarious. Thank you very much. And thank you for sharing with us how you have eaten those frogs. Wow. Amazing, amazing. Ladies, thank you for celebrating Dr. Sarah Waitiki. Now we move to Mary. Mary, are you in the house? This
Yes, I
is,
am.
yes, thank you. This conversation is very, very interesting. We have talked about different frogs, different frogs. So I don't know, Mary, what has been your largest, we've talked about the wellness, we've talked about how you are empowering women. Are there any frogs that have been large, very ugly? And how have you managed to eat them?
Um, yeah, of late, I think I have 3 very ugly and fat frogs.
Yes.
First of all, I really stalled on my master's. I
Mm-hmm.
was taking master's in applied mathematics, and I went up to the thesis level. And then I don't know that this is what you call crazy procrastination or what. But I promised myself that even if I'll be 90, I must have my PhD. I'm going to eat
Wow.
that frog bit by bit by bit.
Wow.
And I've already started on the process.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Wow.
And then another
Uh-huh.
frog,
Yes.
I always dreamt of writing a book.
Wow.
In fact, I wanted to just ask you, how do you write those books of yours? Eh? I just wanted to call you one time and ask you, how do you write? Because sometimes I just take a pen and paper and then, how do I start? But then I think I'll read this book. Eh? Eat That Frog is really, there's a part that I read, a certain chapter that said you can write a book paragraph by paragraph, page by page. I think that's what Brian Tracy told us in the book. And I think if I follow that strategy, I might just be able to write my book.
Sure. Yeah. Eat
So
the frog.
I'm going to eat that fat, ugly frog. And
Yes.
then now, the
Yes.
latest. I just told you people that I'm aspiring to be the first lady of VIGA.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I intend to be a very hands-on first lady, because I've worked with young ladies, the youth, women. Those are close to my heart. And I think the county just needs me in this area.
Wow.
And they need my husband as a manager. He's a wonderful manager, so that our county can change. Our county has a lot of challenges. And that's why we even put ourselves forward to try to get that position to just change the county, make it a better place.
Thank you.
Okay. The minute he threw his heart into the ring that he wanted to be governor of Vihiga County, can you imagine the next day? People are full in the compound with all sorts of problems. It's like all of a sudden you have what? All the money to help. You see? I don't have school fees for my child. Sijui, my roof was blown off. My mother is sick. I am sick. I slept hungry. Sijui, my child was just from school fees. Myriad of problems. And that's the challenge. See? Campaigns is going to be a huge frog. You see? Because people believe in handouts. And you know, when they come like that, you have to part with the money. You see? You have to part with the money. And how much money do you have for everybody?
It's a frog.
It's another big frog, my dear coach. So many frogs, even tadpoles, frogs, they're just so many. I'm telling you. But I was a teacher, and once a teacher, always a teacher. And we used to solve myriads of problems. All the crazy problems that the children had, I'm sure there'll be a way to deal with such things. Okay? So that people should look at the vote, how the vote will help them, not the small money they are given, and then they are forgotten. See that? Because as we want to go and work for them. But the kind of idea that has been put to them by other politicians is just crazy. Maybe it will be, we'll find a way of removing that other frog. You know, there's another frog, Loice. That this frog, maybe educating them that your vote should really count. You see? Put in the right leader, not the person who, after eating his money, will just disappear. The good thing is my husband is a manager. He's not actually a politician. He'll sit and work. But a politician will come in and just forget about the people. You see? And that's what they don't understand. I don't know. We have to really make them understand. And that is my big assignment, a huge frog. This assignment is I'm going to, this frog, I'm going to slaughter it into pieces and fry it and eat it completely so that our people are enlightened, okay?
Oh my goodness. You're very hilarious. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that's the thing. 3 big frogs, which, okay, the first two, at least, those ones, I know, I'll know easily how to deal with them. Brian Tracy already gave an idea of writing. And the other one, procrastination, killing that devil called procrastination, that big frog, that ugly frog. Eh? I think that's what will make me get my PhD even if I'm 90. You see?
Yes.
But this other one, I think I'll even have to get ideas on how to slay the frog off. The campaign vitucos. I think I should call them the campaign frog, eh? The campaign frog.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so I have to keep on going out, meet the women and try to educate them. But still, they'll always ask you, sugar, Madam Sugar, is to come at you. Eh.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mary. Amazing
Mm.
how you have dreams. That one is so powerful that you've said, even if you are 90, you'll earn your PhD. And I could see Dr. Neema Ndungu here, very happy when you said that, because she also celebrated and she ate that frog recently. So thank you so much, ladies. Now, as we come to the end, I can't believe it's already 8:30. Your parting shot. Let's start with you, Mary. Now that you've told us about the frogs that are before you and how you are going to eat them, what would you tell that woman who has been procrastinating, who has been stuck because of fear, who has just been there anxious without moving forward? What is your one word for them? Mary? Okay, I don't know. I think she has disappeared. Maybe we now go to oh, Mary, you are there? Yes.
Yeah, I'm back.
Sorry. Yeah, your one word, parting shot.
I always say impossible is a word that is not in my dictionary.
Wow, powerful.
Because we are capable of doing anything that we intend to do.
Mm.
And one thing about me is that, I also read it in our book, do things immediately. And that has been my way of doing things. When there's something to be done, immediately. This one, even my
Immediately.
husband knows.
Mm.
If there's something to be done and I mention it, ananiambia, sinajua tu sasa hata utaniacha in peace. I have just to do this thing. Immediately.
Wow.
And women should not be laid back and wait for things to be done for them. They should come forward and show themselves, because imagine us women can do things much better than men. I remember as a principal, my school was shining. My school looked like me, and me, I am an organized person. I was always well dressed, smart in every way. You see,
Wow.
people used to benchmark in my school, and I was a woman,
Wow.
a woman principal. You see, even the men could come and look at my kitchen. You couldn't imagine that the kitchen belonged to a school, where my cook was wearing white. You see, and the children were disciplined. The eating etiquette. You just told us that there's this eating etiquette when we are eating the frogs and all that. You see? So women should go out and show themselves. See? And because of the way I was, my way of thinking, the way I carried myself. They started calling me First Lady a long time ago, my colleagues.
And now you are manifesting it.
Imagine, see, God is going to make it happen. They started
Wow.
calling me. The colleague principals were calling me, teachers in my school, because they said I was inspiring them. Yani, there was a way I just carried myself, because I'm me. Just be you. Just be you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
Asante
inspire
sana.
others by just being you.
Be you.
Yes. Don't try to look
Asante.
at somebody else and say, oh, I wish I was like so and so. Imagine me, I don't even care what you have, what it is just me and what I want to achieve. And once I achieve it is when you find that, oh, I'm really inspiring you in this thing. And then you call me First Lady, and you know what the girls are calling me? My girls, my students, Princess. As a teacher, it means I was inspiring them from long ago. Okay? Students, Princess. Teachers, First Lady. And now, may God open this way of
Thank you.
being me, being the First Lady, so that I can inspire people to be who they are and work on their
Asante.
dreams. Yeah, just work
Asante
on your
sana.
dreams.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
That has been amazing, Mary. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for sharing with us. You are closing short. Be you. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Stand out and ignite. Thank you so much. Wanjiku, what is your parting shot this evening? Thank you for sharing with us the evening with us. Wanjiku, briefly, are you there?
Yes, Coach, I'm here.
Yes.
Well, I'm so busy learning from the others. But my parting shot is that never fear to start with the ugliest frog first, the biggest and ugliest frog. So in fact, I was sharing with my friend Joyce, who's in the group. Thank you, Joyce, for coming on. That one of my biggest, ugliest frogs was public speaking. She knows me as being very timid. Another friend of mine who is also here is Liz Kivila. That one, we've been with her since we were in
Oh, thank you
school
for
for over
inviting
30
these
years.
ladies.
Yeah, so they can attest to it. I could not talk to a crowd. I know they're even in shock that I'm the one who's talking tonight. So I dealt with this big ugly frog called public speaking, and I thank God. I thank God. So never fear your biggest, ugliest frog. Face it head on. Yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. And thank you for being an igniter and inviting your friends to come on board. Asante sana and congratulations for your accomplishment. Wow. Dr. Sarah Waitiki, parting shot.
Thank you, Coach. I think for me, Eat That Frog is a powerful book that invites us to identify that one habit that we think would have the greatest impact in our lives, in our professional lives, in our personal lives. And, and success is about being consistent in tackling that one very intimidating task. Like she says about not being afraid of eating the ugliest frog. So probably our takeaway should be, what is that one habit that is pulling me back from getting where I want to be? Because if we read the book and we do nothing about it and we don't crush that frog, then we'll have, disappointed ourselves. So my takeaway is that success is only coming to us if we are consistent in what we choose, that habit that has the greatest impact. We avoid these low value tasks and focus on the one that has the greatest impact in growing us personally and professionally. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for accepting to be one of our speakers this evening. Congratulations for eating that frog. Thank you. Last but not least, our very own Jackie the Blessed.
Thank you, Coach. Yeah, it's been a pleasure listening in and learning from all the ladies. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity as well. You know, when Wanjiku was speaking about public speaking, it took me back to one of my public speaking classes. And the coach kept saying, Funda, you know, you have to kill Funda. And Funda is fear, uncertainty, nervousness, doubt,
Yes.
and anxiety. So as my parting shot, nothing is to be feared, only
Wow.
to be understood.
Mm.
I've written a book called Do It Afraid with some wonderful ladies that have also shared their stories on some of the things that they've done afraid. And just looking at the nuggets that we've learned from Bra and Tracy, we have all that it takes. So as we leave this evening, ladies, let's do it afraid. When you do it afraid, huwa unainua aerial, because many times you know you only have one shot, but you do it afraid, it builds your confidence, and you realize that that was the only thing that was keeping you between where you are and the other side of fear. So this night, just to do it and eat that big frog. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Jackie, for that powerful conversation this evening. Indeed, these conversations get better and better as we move on, and I'm so, so excited. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, book club members. Thank you, our guests, for coming on board. As Dr. Sarah was talking about LinkedIn, and I was remembering I used to look for people to tag in, you know, like the speakers. It's only Jackie I would find. At least Jackie, I've tagged you, you know. So today, as I put the post on LinkedIn, I saw Dr. Sarah. I was like, oh, she's in LinkedIn. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Even for you, Dr. Sarah, just going back to your social media and eating that frog live and sizzling hot. That was amazing. Many of us here, ladies, we are not active in our social media, yet we keep on wondering, why are we getting opportunities? And all the ladies here, most of you, you know, I got you from social media. I never got you from referrals. Most of you, you know where we met. So there's power in that. So let's leverage the technology, as Dr. Sarah told us. Si ya kucheka tu peke yake, that has its place, but we can also use technology to enable us eat the frogs in our lives. It has been a beautiful evening, a beautiful fireside chat, and with powerful, amazing ladies who have been in the book club for many, many seasons, and they're still there. Some of them pay for their annual subscription. I mean, without even knowing whether even Coach Loice will be there the next day. That's the kind of ladies we have here. Ladies who amaze me, ladies who amaze the world because of who they are and who they are becoming. So thank you for being frog eaters, eating those ugly, large, sizzling frogs. And here is a toast to the next book. Tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. club begins. If you are here and you are not in the book club, kindly speak to the lady who invited you. Let's meet tomorrow where we ignite possibilities one book at a time. It has been a pleasure having you, hosting you. Have a good evening. Thank you very much. Good. Now you may leave at your own pleasure. Asanteni sana. I want to read the comments. I think there are so many. Good. Thank you.